Hello again. We're going to do just a quick tour. I've had this radio for, what, 6 days now? 5 days. I got it on Saturday. This is Thursday. Been playing around with it quite a bit. So here we go. We'll power it up. I've just done the software update. Okay, so you've got 4 main dials. You've got the main tuning dial, and then you've got dial A, B, and C. And these 3 dials have dedicated functions, plus you can press them to do other functions. For example, dial B down here is dedicated to volume control. And this radio has lots of volume. But if you press the volume control, it pops up a little menu, and you can select the RF gain. As you see, it goes right down there, up, treble, bass, and squelch. And you can set the squelch level. You watch up here, you should see a little arrow come across. There you go. You see the little arrow coming across. And when the signal goes below it, you get muted audio. And you can see the little receive light over there on the right. Indicates when you're receiving a signal, when the squelch is open or closed. And for just normal use, I just leave that all the way down. You don't really need. Okay, and then the volume control just goes back to defaulting on the volume. Dial A is if you're using scanning, you can do the scan delay. You can scan memories or groups, or you can set frequency limit, just typical scanning functions. And it'll also do automatic saving of things that it finds if you set it up that way. And then you press that, and you can set the scan speed and the priority channel interval for scanning functions. I don't really use much in the way of scanning functions. Dial C over here, it's the backlight control. You can see if I crank this up, this is about where I would normally use it in normal daytime lighting use, but it really washes out on the camera. And if I set that back down to like way down there, the camera is much happier. That says 1% backlight. You also have voice squelch control, and then there's 2 passband tuning controls, so you can set the IF passband on the R8500, which is down below this radio. It's got dedicated dials on the front panel for the passband tuning, so you can press that, and then okay, so to clear the passband tuning function, touch for 1 second. Okay, so you can see down here we're shifting the passband left or right. So this is a good function if you're tuned to a station that has an adjacent channel station that's interfering. Then you can, if the station is above the frequency you're tuned to, then you just select this passband tuning and you shift the passband away from it, so you're only getting the other sideband, and you can eliminate the interference being caused by that. And it shows you here the bandwidth you're getting. You're limiting the bandwidth because you're cutting out one sideband, and it shows you the shift, how many hertz or kilohertz you're shifting the passband. And it's got 2 of those, so you can do different functions. And you just switch down to backlight, and right, you just press it, goes away. Right, and then you can expand or minimize the spectrum scope and the waterfall, and you get more functions here when you have it minimized. Like, for example, you can see the AGC is available here, but when you have it expanded, you don't see it. All you can get is what you see there. You can touch any of those things, and like synchronous AM it brings up, you know, you can choose FM, sideband, whatever you want, and then you get out of it with that. And then antenna, I have antenna 2 is my Alpha Delta DXSWL. It's about a 60-foot long antenna out the back, going to the back of my garage. And if you press antenna, it'll switch to antenna 3. I got nothing connected. And antenna 1, I have the disc cone connected up in my attic. That's for, you know, higher frequencies. You can hit this hold button and it will freeze the spectrum scope and the waterfall. So if there's something there you want to notice, you can freeze and unfreeze that, and you can choose the span up and down. I have plus minus 500K. Not sure how clear that comes out on the video, but you can decrease the span to 50K, 100K, 50K, and when you've got it that low, you can actually see the sidebands when there's modulation on the AM signal. You can see the sidebands going in and out. I like to leave it set to the maximum so I can see what other stations are around. Then you go back, and then there's center and fix is a function where I have it set to center, where the center of the scope is what you're tuned to. And so if you tune, as you can see, it move, you know, the frequency you're tuned to moves back and forth as you tune. But you can also set fix, and that way when you tune, the scope moves the tuning point, and this span isn't moving, only the tuning point where you have the green. And you can see that as I tune faster, it's got 2-speed tuning, and if you tune slow, you get the slow speed, and if you tune faster, it picks up. So you can tune fine tuning or very fast tuning. Go back to there, set it back to center, and there's a second menu. You can set the reference level, which is how sensitive this is. I have it set to 0, but you can vary it, and you can see how it changes the 0 reference point of the scope and the waterfall. So depending on what kind of signals you're looking at, I just leave it set at the default of 0. And then you can set the speed of the waterfall from slow, fast, or medium. I leave it on medium, which gives you about 20 seconds time span from the top of the waterfall to the bottom. There's a peak detect function where you see the little red dot there, and it will automatically choose the highest signal level frequency within the span, and so you can search around and see what the highest frequency or the highest signal level within your frequency range is there. And then this RX button, if you have another frequency there that's higher than the one you're tuned to, you hit that, it'll tune to it. It's kind of cool. And so we go back to exit, gets us out of that. It's got a speech function. Not sure how this will come through.
Couldn't feel the move of the spirit in that place.
F plus 10, 13.845 megahertz. Synchronous AM.
I'm not sure how that came through with a received signal, but what I'll do is I'll tune out of the signal. Of course, that just makes a noise, so that's not going to do too well. But anyways, the speech gives you the S meter reading and then the frequency. See if you can try this again. See how it sounds. Synchronous AM at the end. It says what the mode is. And then the filter here, you can set the 3 different filters. Filter 1 pops it up. Filter 2 is 6K. Filter 3 3K. Filter 1 7K. And if you hold the filter, then you can choose the bandwidth. I think it's this dial here. You can set the... Nope, it's not that one. Which one is it? Oh, okay. You choose the filter. Let me see if I can remember how to do this one. Oh, you choose bandwidth. And now you can use the main tuning dial to change the bandwidth of the filter up to 10K. And I find 7K is a nice comfortable setting for the filter, and then exit gets you out. And then what else we have? We have this VFO and memory button. Allows you to switch between VFO and memory. And what I did is I set a bunch of the memories with the scan, with the edges of the shortwave broadcast bands. So I have 18 megahertz, 16 meters, and I just have the upper edge of the normal bands. And so if I want to tune 19 meters, if you're in memory mode and you hold the VM button, it will write the memory frequency to the VFO, and you'll hear two beeps, not very loud. And then I hit VFO, and now I am at 16 megahertz, and I can tune down from there in the 31 meter band. And of course, if you can't hear this guy on your radio, you know your radio's not working. That's one of the things. Right, and at this time of day, which is 1:30 in the afternoon, 15610 is a very strong station. Okay, so then if I go back to VFO memory, I can come down to 14 megahertz and then tune that band, see what's there. Not very much. You can see from the scope here, there's a few signals over here. See if we can tune around and see what's there. Got some sort of noise source. I checked it out on my other radios. Whatever that is happening on all the radios. So we go down to 25 meters, write that to the VFO, and then I can just tune along here. There's something there. Not very strong. Something in Spanish. Something more in Spanish. That sounds like Brother Stare there again. So let's see if we can find anything down here in the 31 meter band. Oh, of course. There's Brother Stare again. And Brother Stare again. $94.75. It sometimes comes in very strong in the afternoon, sometimes not. Okay, so we can go back to the groups of memories. And this one here, I've got the high frequency global communication system frequencies. So you use the dial C here, and you can just tune between those frequencies. 175 is a pretty common one there. I've got the aircraft North Atlantic frequencies. These are the weather channels at the bottom of the memory. And this time of day they're probably not much action in the aircrafts. Seems there's something going on that channel. And then I've got a couple of the frequencies here for the space station. And they transmit. And then I have a weather station that's mounted on my garage, and this here you might be able to hear it when it transmits every 18 seconds. There you go. Just so I can check that frequency. And here I have all the time signals in this group of memories, and so I can tune around. There's CHUs, kind of weak. And there we're getting WWV on 15 megahertz. Not very strong. And nothing up at 20 and 25. And then this group of frequencies is the local transit where I used to work.
Clear 1065. Okay, roger that. You said you had another call? Roger, standby.
Anyways, that's the old control center, the local transit where I worked. Just retired 3 years ago. I was the technician there. And oh yeah, and if you want to punch in a frequency, you just push the megahertz portion, and then you can just punch in. And you go straight there.
You are called to communion with Dr. David Anders.
And then you have
On the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
the memories. So if you have a frequency, you got to go to VFO mode. Punch in the frequency that you want to save, say 15.61 strong channel this time of day. And when you're in VFO mode, you choose the memory you want to put it in. There's one way of doing it. And then you would hit memory write. And it will come up with a confirmation of, do you want to write it in? You can overwrite an existing one, or you can dial it up and choose a new one. And then there's a whole bunch of other things here down the bottom. You have the menu. You can call up the scope if you haven't got it set. Scanning, memory. You can set record. You want to record. We have the SD card. Doesn't come with the radio. I put a 16 gigabyte card in. Only costs $10. But you hit record. And you hit record start. And the recording is started. And then you click back out and you see the little red dot up here. Tells you it's recording, and you hit the M scope button, you hold it, and it'll expand the scope again. And then quick brings up a quick menu, like recording is running. If it wasn't, it would say record start, and you just hit record stop, and it stops the recording. And then you go back to menu and record, and then you can choose play files if you have a file that's recorded, which we just did there. And so that's today. August the 10th. So we choose that folder, and everything we record on August the 10th will be in that directory. And so we hit that one, and there's the it gives you the time, the date, frequency, and the mode. And you can skip forward, you can skip back, you can skip right to the beginning, skip right to the end. And then exit takes you out, and scope expands the scope again. I like having the scope big, but if you don't like having the scope big, you can make it small. And the tuning step, you can choose the tuning step. I've got it set to 100, but you can choose all of those different steps depending on what you want, or you can go into this one and set a custom tuning step, whatever you like. It's pretty cool. And when you have a synchronized AM signal, the sync lights up here. AGC, you can doesn't come from there, I guess. You have to go to menu. Nope, you have to go to function, and then AGC, fast, mid, slow. Normally have it for setting fast. You also have the preamp. I think there's 2 settings. And the attenuator, you can have 10 dB, 20 dB, 30 dB, and off. This IP function is the third order intercept point. I'm not really understanding exactly how this thing is supposed to improve the signal decoding during strong signals. You can turn it on or off. I haven't found any signals where it makes a difference. Duplex for receiving, you know, like something like a 2-meter ham signal where the transmitter and receiver are on different frequencies. You can use that for setting up the duplex split. You have noise reduction. You can turn it on or off, and if you hold it, it pops up here with noise reduction level, and you can set. I'll turn up the volume here. That's not a very noisy signal, so it's not really doing anything. But what you can do is, I don't know if this is coming through, but there's a heterodyne kind of a signal quite often on this channel for me. And so if we go to the notch, turn on the automatic notch filter. I have to hit it twice to turn it off because it goes to manual. It's not really taking that signal out too much because it's varying. And then there's a noise blanker. Are a little more sour by nature, or a little more blue by nature, can't do things to make it better. All right, it's an interaction between the brain and the will that God gave you and your makeup. So it's you know, it's not automatic. You can't just look at somebody and say, well, he's just a happy guy no matter what. No, so anyway, that's just a quick tour of the radio. The quick function here lets you choose various things. The main tuning dial puts you through those, right? So you can select groups and ranges. The meter type is you can choose an S meter, dB, dBu, and dBm. It just shows you on the scale here the different numbers. Really is all it does. I just use the S meter because that's the normal thing most radios have. And then that's it, a quick tour of the Icom R8600. Power it down now and save the video. Alrighty.